Devonta Smith did an interview recently, and he talked about how it's good to have two receivers on one team that want to be alphas. You know, it kind of spits in the face of NFL history, where if you have one alpha and he doesn't get the ball, it's an issue. I don't know about if I agree with Devonta Smith here about having two alpha wide receivers on a team and if it can work long term.
They're both getting paid the same amount on an per year basis, so I guess they can both say that they're the alphas. Just a side note here, the Andrew Tate followers, those cultists, and their obsession with the word alpha and talking about it all the time. The people who talk about the word alpha, to me, the most are generally the people who are least alpha, reeks of insecurity. You want to show off this masculinity that you have. I don't know. I feel like not caring is the most manly thing that anyone can do. But whatever. That's just me, a nihilist. But to bring it back to this, it's going to be interesting to see how this works out for the Houston Texans. Now, I don't know that there are any hurt, miffed, or annoyed feelings on Nico Collins' end because they traded for Stefon Diggs in his contract here and also got rid of the void years on Stefon Diggs' contract. So they're both, at least as things currently stand, free agents after the year, barring some sort of franchise tag slappage. I think that the thing with Nico Collins to this point, with last year really being his first big season, I think the idea that he's going to have the kind of ego to say, like, yeah, I'm the number one wide receiver on this team is a bit far-fetched. Again, I don't know what's going on in his head. And most wide receivers, they think they're the best guy in the field, and they're going to think that they're open on every single play. But it is going to be intriguing to see the three of these guys, Tank Dell, Stefon Diggs and Nico Collins, how they handle the amount of targets that they get on a game-to-game basis. With Stefon Diggs, it stands to reason, just based off of his entire history, that there will be some games where he doesn't get targeted as much, and he will be mad. If he shares that publicly or keeps it private, that is what I think will show whether or not he has matured as a player or appreciates the situation here in Houston.
And he just knows that he's a free agent and he's got to be on his best behavior.
Exactly. So if he's able to keep it to himself, that's great. But there is a scenario where the Texans are going to find themselves in that same spot where there are theoretically multiple alpha wide receivers. You have three incredible receivers on this team.
I get the vibe from Nico that it's not an issue. Because I guess like he could have had an argument last year. He led the team in targets with 109. But when you really break it down and look at the targets then separated between Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, Noah Brown, and Robert Woods, like there was a lot of targets going around. I mean, Tank Dell and Robert Woods each had 75. So if we would have seen a complaint from Nico, I think we would have got it last year in some shape or form.
Oh, man, I don't know. You got the new car smell with the young quarterback after
that's
you
true
worked
too.
with Davis Mills.
Yeah.
I feel like Nico Collins has a deep appreciation for the good life after the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I think the Texans get to avoid this issue because Stefon Diggs is on a 1-year contract. And I don't get those alpha ego vibes from Tank Dell and Nico Collins. I don't see it.
It's also the first time any of these guys have been on a good NFL team.
That's true.
like talking about the new car smell. It was like for everybody was just relieved they're on a good team.
Yeah, in general, do you think it can work? Having two top dogs like this? I mean, it's worked well in Cincinnati. Hasn't? I guess Jamar Chase has got a little
Higgins
pouty.
isn't a top dog.
He's going to get paid like one.
But Jamar Chase is the clear number one there.
I think it helps to have one guy, if they're not both like first-round picks, in a weird way. I know it like doesn't actually matter, but I think it matters a little bit for Nico Collins being a third-round pick and breaking out in his third year as opposed to if he was drafted like 7th overall. Because then that comes with a little bit more cachet and a little bit more like I should be a star-ness to him, where him being a third-round pick and having his first good year, I don't think you're less likely to be like, man, and now they're trading for Stefon Diggs, this is a slap in my face.
He might look at Stefon Diggs from this perspective too, because Diggs is a 5th-round pick. For those who don't remember, it was such a long time ago.
I forget that.
It is weird to think of that. The Vikings, man, they've had an unbelievable run of wide receivers over the last 30 years or so. But to bring him in, like they found him in the 5th, and you take a look at Diggs' numbers his first couple of years before he goes to Buffalo. It was really in Buffalo where we started talking about him as a top 5 receiver. He put up good numbers in Minnesota. That's
yeah, he was a really good receiver.
Yeah.
Minnesota, but yeah, when he went to
he's 1,500 yards
Baltimore,
receiving.
he was like, oh my god.
Yeah, when he went to Buffalo, he was an elite wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like he was good. I mean, he was like trading a 1st-round pick for him. Bill O'Brien was a good idea. Like, because you got a good asset in return, and it was if I was Buffalo, like I would do that trade over and over and over and over again forever.
It was also it lined up perfectly with the first time Josh Allen had been good in his entire career. So there might be a little bit, and not to go full Stefon Diggs on Twitter, but there might be a little bit of giving Josh Allen a number 1 receiver like Diggs helped unlock Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Again, not to go full.
I'm glad you mentioned Stefon Diggs on Twitter, though, Sean, because you found this guy. Not found it, but you find his Twitter to be great.
Yeah.
You discovered him on Twitter.
I looked up Stefon Diggs' Twitter.
He's got some food takes. I'm going to read a couple. The whole convince yourself that the healthy food is good because it's good for you is cap.
Agreed.
But I will say some of the food is not half bad.
No, I think the biggest thing about healthy food is it takes longer to get to where you need it to go.
What do you mean by that?
Like you have to do more to
you
the
just
food
have to cook
to make it tasty.
You just have to cook, right?
But I'm not ashamed of this. I like tofu. I actually do. I think it's good.
Soy boy.
But the
not
amount
an
of
alpha male.
But the amount of work you have to put in to make tofu taste good is probably not worth it.
Is tofu healthy?
I don't know. What's healthy and what's not healthy?
Well, look. Healthy is staying away from non-natural food. You can make really.
Touche.
I consider myself a pretty good cook. Mm-hmm. I should probably post more of the stuff that I cook for myself because I've actually over the last 3 to 5 years, I have put a lot of time in the kitchen. Okay. I'm not gonna say I'm about to open a restaurant or anything like that, but I feel like I cook 1 very healthy in a way that 2 actually tastes good. And I'm with Stefon Diggs in that some of it is actually pretty good. But I will agree with him where he says, the people that say turkey bacon tastes better than actual bacon, delusional. Yeah, turkey bacon.
Yeah, I eat turkey
I have a lot
bacon.
Of ground turkey. Ground turkey takes on the flavor of the much like tofu.
Yeah.
It takes on the flavor of the things that are around it. That's why I got this little quinoa brown rice concoction.
You go turkey.
There's turkey burger in it, but there's also a ton of spices, a ton of peppers, like saffron in this.
We did that the other day. Very similar with ground bison. It was incredible.
Oh yeah, I do with the bison.
So
too.
good.
Every 2 weeks, I go crazy and I get 3 pounds of bison and put it in that little mix.
Yeah, I'm turkey bacon over regular bacon now. For the most part.
Oh. I still do the authentic bacon,
but I don't.
The peppered bacon.
It doesn't taste better.
No, it definitely doesn't.
It definitely does not. And I think, anyone who tells you that tastes better is lying.
Diggs also has pancake takes. I want pancakes with the crispy edges, tacos, and chocolate chip cookies without the chocolate chips. So he just likes plain cookies. I think Stefon Diggs and we can have our Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers handshake over a dislike of chocolate.
Yeah, with chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, but
chocolate. What?
No,
but
they have a name.
No, but then make
Oatmeal?
a different kind of cookie.
Go
go Snickerdoodle.
He might like
or
sugar cookies.
Oatmeal raisin.
Maybe like sugar cookies.
Sugar cookies.
Yeah.
That is what chocolate chip cookies.
Because the way that tweet reads is like he gets a chocolate chip cookie and then he scoops out the chocolate. Like that's how it reads.
Yeah.
Is that he takes a chocolate chip cookie and then he removes
there's some other ingredient. Like you're asking for no cheese on a burger. It's no, well, if you're asking for no cheese on a grilled cheese, you're not having anything.
You're just having bread. When's the last time? The other day we went and got food, my wife and I and Joseph, and I ordered a burger And it didn't come with cheese on it. And I was like, man, I thought the standard these days was that it just came with cheese.
Well, no, I
and you
hate
had
that.
to ask for people like you.
I hate that I have to ask for it to be off. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, but the cheeseburger is the standard.
No, it's not. Cheese
That's
belongs.
you got to read the menu.
I
know, but it's
I
annoying.
don't have anything for you. Other than you might have just ordered the burger.
No, I did.
and
I
then-
definitely did.
and
I
then
just
separately
assumed.
is
So
the
annoying.
cheeseburger.
Yeah, I
So
just
annoying.
assumed that it came with cheese.
It's so annoying that you'll always have to ask for no cheese. I'm sorry, I'm not a fatty boom
do
daddy
you get
like the whole
upset?
country.
Do you get upset when they don't like take off price? Like some place, like this
No, I
place,
don't care about that.
I had to pay 50 cents to
Yeah.
get cheese added to my burger. So, do you think that if there's a cheeseburger and
Joe's
you,
revealing a lot about himself
Yeah,
today.
that's why he still has
I don't
to
wanna pay off the
I'm trying,
donated to the.
I'm trying to help Paul here. If you order a cheeseburger and you remove the cheese, shouldn't your burger be 50 cents cheaper?
Larry David.
I'm just saying.
That is what you sound like right now.
just saying.
I don't care. I will ask for no cheese on it and other toppings not on it. Sometimes I see a burger and I'm like, I like most of the toppings except for the cheese. So I'll just ask for no cheese. I don't need there to be a discount on the burger. I'm not Larry
What's the
David.
question?
I was
question?
asking the question. You're
Okay.
even making Larry David mannerisms
Okay,
right now.
so
Question.
if it costs $1.50 to take the cheese off, or to put the cheese on, and so you'll be getting $1.50 discount without the cheese, then do you care? Because there is a price that
Dude.
So if it's
Dude, if it was
$7,
if it was $1.50, I think I would eat with it without cheese.
I'd rather.
yeah, no, that's what I'm asking with Paul. It's like, wait, no, there is a number where you're like, wait, no, I should get my discount.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I don't get it. If I'm gonna get a burger, like generally I'm making it myself. Like I
Fair.
actually like to make burgers on my own because you can cook it in the way that you like it. You can put on what you want on it too. Generally, when you go to a restaurant, I think that they do vary place to place what burgers are actually good, which aren't, and you can't really tell until it's actually out in front of you. And so I don't order burgers that much, but yeah, like the $1.50 off is not a huge deal to me. Burgers are generally under $20, so, and I'm not acting like I have a ton of money. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
no.
I'm just saying.
Rich Paul over here.
I'm not. Well, I do own a condo, but
Board member Paul over here.
HOA
Member of
board
the
member.
board.
Yeah,
He's in a
becoming-
full suit right now.
I'm
If you're not
becoming-
watching on YouTube,
Yeah, I'm well on my way to BlackRock, and just like owning the entire United
Corporate
States.
Paul.
Yeah, just like gentrifying. and
corporate
such.
shill Paul being like, hey, think about the restaurant man. Think
Yeah.
of the margins.
Think about the
that Tyson
landlords.
Chicken has to deal with.
But no, I mean, if I'm gonna go out, I'm probably gonna get something that's north of a burger.
Okay,
I can make the burger myself.
fair.